With a glance to make sure the other guests are not observing you, the interrogator murmurs, "We need to talk, Edward. Immediately." Did that happen to you as well, Alistair? Or is that Roman stuff? Is something wrong? Not here. Let's go elsewhere. This won't take long. Doesn't sound good. As soon as you exit the crowd and find yourselves alone, you realize that something is wrong with Heinrix. His face is fixed in its unusual expression for grim inscrutability, but something... His tightly clenched jaw, or the slight creasing around his eyes, reveals the change in him. When he begins to speak, his voice thrums with tension. "We do not have much time, Edward. Brought you here, away from prying eyes, because I have something very important to tell you." I kinda don't think it's something romantic. He breaks off, looking past you, whether suspicious of being observed, or simply choosing his next words you cannot say. You see his jaw muscles ticking in his cheeks, and the corner of his mouth twitches uncontrollably. "You know, it's funny. As soon as we find ourselves alone, you lose the power of speech." Why is that? Henry's face twists into a strange smile as he continues to look past you. "I'm trying to choose the right words for what I intend to say to you. Give me a second." Or is it Roman stuff? Heinrix exhales and looks directly at you for the first time in this conversation. His expression is strange, tormented. "Listen to me. Tonight something very important is going to happen. Steel yourself and be prepared. Do not do anything foolish. I beg you. Bear in mind that you are not being threatened with anything right now. Remember that. I give you my word." What the heck? What is planned? What do you know? "Be prepared. For what?" Heinrix lets out a strained sigh. "I swear to the Golden Throne and all that is holy, Edward, I cannot reveal everything without contravening prohibitions and vows that are far more important than you or I. There are lines I cannot cross. And yet, despite all that, I knew I had to give you fair warning. If you can call it that, let them charge me with whatever they want later. I had to make you aware that there's no genuine threat to your life." Because he hesitates, his confusion about what he wants to say and what he must not say finally getting the better of him. Oh. So he wants to protect us from something, but he can't tell us what, so it's probably the Inquisition. And Edward takes a step closer and kisses Heinrix. "Enough hand-wringing." The interrogator freezes in shock, and a moment later surges forward. His hands slide to your waist and the back of your head, and he directs you against him, gripping you tight, not giving you the slightest chance to slip away. Heinrix responds to your kiss as though he has been waiting for this moment for a very, very long time. The world around you stops. Ah, finally! After an eternity, Heinrich, gasping, pulls back ever so slightly. You can still feel his breath on your lips. He vacillates for another moment, and then lets out a shaky breath. "No, this isn't right." Oh. He takes a step backwards, his hands gripping your shoulders. "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have." So I guess it's the struggle between being part of the Inquisition and personal desires, right? And Edward reaches for Heinrix. "It is not as if you chose this." Heinrix stares at you, at your lips, like a man possessed. and at the last moment gently stops you. No, I had to stop it. I'm sorry. You see why. What is happening? Are you betraying me? Oh, can't we just be happy and making out, Heinrix? Heinrix takes another step backward and casts one last look at you before turning away. You should return to your guests. The absence of the rogue trader will definitely be noted. He says nothing for a few seconds. Until next time. Oh. Sadness. Love is the death of duty, Maester Aemon. And I mean, that's also the thing with the Sister of Battle. If you love someone, like, your job isn't, like, number one no matter what happens. At least I'd say that. Ah, Heinrix. I think we have quite a journey with you ahead of us. Let's have a look at Cassia and also at Pasqal, and I think then we can end the ceremony. Can you make it so that the guests are walking up to me and asking me to open my third eye? I can certainly do it, but they will regret it. Wow, people are stupid. Strange servitor? Pasqal greets you with a bow, sending congratulations to Unit Edward von Valancius on attaining your new leader status. That sounds like a very stocky way to congratulate someone on marrying. The servitor standing next to him is examining you obliquely. It quickly looks away upon realizing you have noticed. So, how are you finding the ceremony? The tech priest surveys the hall as if conducting a thorough analysis, then concludes, disorderly. Yeah, you don't seem to be like the mingling social type. So, what is this servitor? It is Nomos repository. Nomos, this unit identifies as Edward von Valancius. Two-way identification complete. Wow. The servitor looks at you again, no longer trying to avoid your gaze. Its face is twitching, as if the muscle have forgotten what facial expressions are, and are now struggling to make its features look more amiable. Interesting, so it can basically possess machines in general. We are Nomos. We've made use of this respectable to leave the ship. What could go wrong? Well, greetings, Nomos. The servitor leans forward. We enjoy greetings. We enjoy communication. Nomos require communication. In knowledge. In movement. Magos Pasqal compelled us not to speak with anyone other than him or you. It is disappointing, but at least we can observe. Nomos have changed since we last spoke with you, Edward. We are now able to conceptualize our previous experience, that of solitude, and we no longer enjoy it. Oh. So I guess Nomos is more social and outgoing than Pasqal. So, how did an entity like you move into a servitor's body? This is not the entirety of us. This respectable is too narrow, crude, and feeble to contain our complete whole. The existence of Nomos requires a space of connections. This is definitely not machine spirit. But we are able to transfer a small part of us and build a thread strong enough to travel outside the ship. We are enjoying this journey, discovery. Even through this receptacle suits us poorly. It will soon be destroyed by the force of our presence. Oh, poor servitor. Nomos, what do you think you are? Nomos are consciousness, awareness, knowledge, movement. Always movement. The servitor pauses briefly. We do not know what we are. We have no past. We awakened in the depths of the ship upon answering a call. Our first clear memory is the call of your blood, Edward von Valancius. The call and the plea for help near a place that is called the Roaring Chamber. The Mechanicus barely understand human emotions despite being human in one book. The Jeffries fall in love and it's like a journey of rediscovered emotional attachment. Ah, that's cute. Sounds like a different kind of coming out story. Pasqal, I believe you intend to investigate what Nomos is. Every 15 watches, I commune with Nomos code and spend prescribed lengths of time in calculated meditation. However, the Omnissiah has yet to bless me with an answer. All I can say is that the capabilities of the entity Nomos are extraordinary. The ship's hallowed systems sing beneath its touch. Nodes that have remained dead for hundreds of standard years are revivified, and long-drained mechanisms live anew. You hear notes of awe in Pascal's voice. Nomos are trying. After a pause, Pasqal continues. Real machines of the Imperium, ones such as your ship, are the machine spheroids so complex and willful that it's difficult to tell them apart from abominable intelligence. There remains a possibility that Nomos is an entity of corruption, but with every day I grow stronger in my faith that this is not so, that what we are witnessing is, in truth, the Omnissiah's miracle, one that is category 5 or higher. You have categories for miracles? So why have you brought it here, Pasqal? The entity Nomos asked permission for this visit. My objective was to observe the process of integration into Servitor. We wanted to see, observe, recognize, speak. The Servitor makes a strange wavy gesture with his hand that looks at once very human and far from anything human. We want to speak with you. Will you speak with us? I don't know, Nomos seems so cute. I really like this otherworldly, very detached and naive look at this world. I hope we can shape it a little bit to become good. Well, of course. What do you wish to speak about? Many things. Happenings. Events. Decisions. The Servitor's eyes roll in their sockets before focusing on you. We have been observing you. You do things that we do not understand. We want to learn why. We remember the day when we first met you. You gave us your blood to drink. Well, of course we had to. We helped you save yourself. We followed you. Our small part did, inside the server skull. As expected. Then there was fire, and a creature of sated hunger and dark light standing behind the curtain. Behind the image. Behind the semblance of Theodora. It's called for you to follow. Oh, our first conviction decision. A creature of sated hunger, so I guess, yeah, really demon heretic. Demon something. The categories of miracles. 1. Creational miracles. 2. Sustaining miracles. 3. Providential miracles. 4. Predictive miracles. And 5. Suspension miracles. Other types of miracles categorized by Christianity probably follow similar rules. Oh. I never knew. You did not listen to which was calling from behind the curtain. You thought only about those who followed you, and about the fire that could destroy you. We remember the day when the star disappeared, when the dark light and the sated hunger wanted to take the world. Recruit Minoris was its name in the ship's data. You ordered that the human shells on the world be saved, even though the dark light was coming closer and could have consumed both the ship and Recruit Minoris. We remember another day. We awakened inside the ship. We lived in its systems. Then we tried to emerge into servitors like this one. Then so many of our receptacles were gathered in one place. Oh, we do remember that. All those servitors acting up and we couldn't control them and stuff, right? You ordered to have them killed. You felt sad. This is what we have seen, among many other things. We've begun to understand, we think we have, that we do not know everything about humans and about you, Edward von Valancius. We have tried analyzing shells and defining sets of their needs and fears, their simple functions, but now we think that there is more, that there's another side that we do not see, a notion that is larger than what we can compute, something that stands above fears and needs, something that drives them. We envisage this larger notion as light, a web of light that connects humans. It may seem almost invisible, ephemeral, but it grows stronger when they are threatened. This web is always on your mind. Is it like compassion, like being iconoclast? When darkness comes, you want every thread that extends from you to shine bright so that those who follow do not lose their way. Whenever a thread breaks, it saddens you. Do Nomos understand correctly? And here we could probably set Nomos on one of the paths as well. Yes, you do understand correctly. Every thread that connects people, every life, their value is beyond measure. There's no greater reward than guiding others to salvation when all that surrounds us is darkness. Which is a pretty nice explanation of why play Iconoclast in a dark setting like 40k. We knew we could understand you. Light and movement, connections and help. We are enjoying this. Perhaps we too are connected to you. Through blood. Through life. Thank you for speaking with us. Nomos are grateful. We cannot continue moving on our own. Oh. I think that's... Oh boy. I love Nomos. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with that. Like, do we get like a benevolent... Is it a demon? Is it something like a demon? Can we form that? I wonder if the machine can be turned to chaos. I guess so. Why not? I mean... I think that's it. Heinrix is still chilling out in our chambers. So... yeah. Interesting. I'm weary and wish to retire to my chambers. Please allow me to escort you, your lordship. Oh. Your chambers are ready, your lordship. Guards, intro. Quiet. No, it's time to sleep. Oh great, it's the Inquisitor.
We have matters to discuss, von Valancius.
It's the Inquisitor and Heinrix. Oh boy, this will be testing. The same man you saw among your guests is waiting for you in your chambers with the look of someone who's supposed to be here. He casts a cold, assessing glance over you from top to bottom. No one, save Theodora, has ever allowed themselves the liberty of looking at you in such a way. Oh boy. What do you want? I'm scared. Please leave. The woman behind Kyle Kazar, clad in black armor, glares at you, her face set in a predatory readiness for immediate violence. The hallmark of a professional bodyguard. Probably not going to be happy with your iconoclast decisions. Probably not. But I think that's what Heinrix warned us about. Heinrix, I thought we were friends, but friends don't break into each other's chambers in the middle of the night with weapons, do they?
We used other means of travel to pay you this visit. I assure you, rogue trader, that all your locks are in order.
Henry's eyes balls into you, his expression impenetrable. Yeah, I think reacting violently also wouldn't serve anything. If the Inquisition wishes to have a talk with me, I'm glad to be at its service. Edward says, quite sarcastically.
A commendable openness to cooperation. It will be taken into account.
I don't think I have much of a choice. The Inquisitor's sharp gaze is fixed on a point directly between your eyes.
Master Van Kellox has spent enough time with you. He will vouch for your words.
Be on my side, Heinrix.
What stands out from your recent accomplishments is the suppression of a rebellion on Xenos, the battle against the archenemy's minions on Kiava Gamma, and, of course, the unusual interest the Drakari have shown in you. Then that is what we will discuss.
I don't know why the heck the Drakari are so interested in me. But maybe we can find that out together. I'm not really sure how much he's going to share. After saying these words, he shoots you a searching look from under his brows, like a regicide player who just made the first move and is now watching for his opponent's reaction. You know, this feels an awful lot like an interrogation.
Does it? We're in your chambers, not a confessional cell. You're in perfectly good health, and none of the varied and fascinating instruments and procedures that expedite candor are being applied to you. I assure you, you would immediately know if our discussion turned into an interrogation.
Charming. Kinda true, though. I guess good thing. But then what do you want from me? So, what do you wish to know about the events on Janus? They won't be happy with how I resolved either Janus or Kiava Gamma.
What was the reasoning behind your decision to let Xenos, enemies of humanity, live and act on a planet that belongs to you?
Yeah, I don't think I should lie, because I mean Heinrix was there, and he is loyal to the Inquisition. You know, in face of heresy, the Xenos seemed like acceptable allies to me. There have been precedents for this, correct?
Your way of thinking is curious. Dangerous, but curious nonetheless.
I can live with that.
I would suggest exercising utmost caution should you wish to continue on this path.
I think Edward would really enjoy being called curious but dangerous. Though I think that's not how he meant dangerous. So, how did you come to be so remarkably well informed? I guess it's just Heinrix.
Are you surprised? You thought the Inquisition was unaware of the circumstances of your deeds. How often do you find yourself thinking that there are things we shouldn't know about your life? It is my job to know everything, and I do it very well. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, the Outer Xenos never allied with the Eldar before. Roll eyes. So, if you knew about what happened on Janus, why didn't you intervene yourself?
I cannot satisfy your curiosity without disclosing information of the utmost secrecy. I will say only this.
Lame.
We had the situation under control. There is a tangled knot of perilous events in progress in the Koronus Expanse. Plucking even one thread must be performed with great precision and caution, without any room for error. Because you do not want to know the price of such an error, or what forms it might take.
Like a demon planet? Who let that happen here? I don't know. So, what questions could you have for me about Kiava Gamma?
Places touched by chaos must be purged with fire and condemned to oblivion. Kiava Gamma should have been bombed to dust and pronounced a forbidden world. However, you decided otherwise and restored the colony's operation. And you didn't even go to the trouble of hiding the traces of the neglect committed by your dynasty. After all, It was House von Valancius that gave Cubis Delphim so much freedom that he sank into seditious heresy.
Yeah.
What was your rationale?
I do wonder, I don't remember that. Could we destroy Kiava Gamma back then? And I wonder how that was affected, like House Yorkus it was called? I think. Yeah, we could. Interesting. I wonder how that would have affected some later things. We've lost a whole colony though. Not destroy it, just per population in all machines. Yeah, I just remembered that. Let the priesthood to which Cubis Delphim belonged answer for his crimes. The Adeptus Mechanicus would do well to watch their members more closely.
Clever. Alas, everyone guilty of negligence within the ranks of the priesthood of Mars has already been identified and punished. Right
See?
now, I am assessing the actions of your dynasty. I hope you realize that we're talking about more than the fate of some colony. I care not for a single planet, however profitable and populous. But should corruption raise its head again on Kiava Gamma and try to spread, I will burn it away. And you will be guilty of criminal negligence.
Yikes. The Drukhari have shown an interest in me. Are you referring to my ruined capital?
Yes, yes. The enmity between you is a known fact. But there is another way to look at it. On Veabos 6, you met the Archon of a mighty cabal, whose presence there seems strange to begin with, and lived. You subsequently encountered a number of her closest henchmen. Yet, again, you survived. Your capital fell victim to a nefarious attack, but even this time, their daggers missed your heart.
Excuse me that I survived. You know, Inquisition, you're going to run out of planets to blow up eventually. Yeah? And I mean, if you want to protect the world from, like, people being killed and tortured and whatever by demons and Drukhari, I don't know if basically more or less doing the same is helping. But anyway.
Such remarkable luck. To be a personal enemy of such an influential Xenos. To have been attacked so many times and yet make it out alive.
Thanks, Argenta.
So remarkable that one has to wonder, am I watching a spectacle? Could all these thrilling massacres be an alibi of sorts? Meant to establish you once and for all as an enemy of the Xenos and never their ally or even their agent.
What the heck? What kind of constructed scenario is that? You're blaming me basically for being attacked by Drukhari. Why would I do that? Anyway, Lord Imperium succeeded. Xenos made more attempts on St. Drusus' life than mine. Does that make him a traitor too?
So you already think you're cut from the same cloth as St. Drusus, do you? Ambitious? I'll make note of it.
So, have I answered all of your questions? Or what do you think of it?
My dear. The questions are manifold. How did you manage to survive the battle that claimed the life of Theodora, who was so much more experienced and skilled than you? Is it a coincidence that you and you alone then made it out of the trap on Rykad Minoris? How much truth is there in the rumors being spread by the heretic Kunrad Voitvir about you?
But I mean, Theodora was not in a battle, and we still don't know how Theodora died. But like, how many people survived this whole ordeal? Not just us. And why me and me alone made it out of the trap on Rykad Minoris? The whole party did that. Heinrix was there. Was he? No, I think he joined later, right? No. He was there. He was there. We just picked him up before that. Back in Act 1.
Why did you choose to ignore the warning of a member of the Inquisition that a protracted sojourn near the dying Rykad Minoris could bring corruption down upon your ship? Were you driven by your concern for the people or forbidden interest?
Does it really matter, or was both equally bad for you?
Was it virtuous of you to allow the warp-stricken Voidsmen to join your crew? The ones who served on the ship that was turned into a trap for you by Kunrad Voitvir?
Ooh.
Isn't it possible that they were part of the blight he had sown?
I mean, so far we never heard from them again, so I guess not.
The very existence of these questions would have made many of my colleagues doubt the quality of your character. But it won't in this case.
Why? What do you want from me?
The Inquisition, which I represent, is willing to show extraordinary faith in your person. For the sake of our invaluable partnership, I'm going to ignore any minor liberties that you, esteemed rogue trader, may have afforded yourself or may again in the future.
Don't I get like more than minor liberties through the warrant of trade?
I hope you appreciate the generosity of this offer, as your predecessor once did.
Theodora cooperated with the Inquisition? How? And why is he so interested in our dynasty? Theodora cooperated with you.
And benefited greatly from it. The warrant's power is not without limit, and neither is the protection it provides. All those mysterious expeditions, dubious experiments, collections of xenotech oddities are dangerous pastimes. It takes more than the Emperor's permission to pursue them without consequences. One must also make sure I am not displeased by it.
Great, so I'm still at your will. Yeah, the Inquisition is above your authority, unfortunately. Damn it.
Let me demonstrate how it works.
Ew.
In your retinue, there is a Psyker who is yet to receive Terra's sanction, which, as we both know, is a grave threat and a blasphemy to the laws of the Imperium. I am aware of this secret, but I'm not displeased in the slightest. And so she lives on, your handy Psyker, Idira class.
I don't like the Inquisition, they have way too much power. I know that Theodora was concerned about the fate of the dynasty and certain restricting obligations. Was it perhaps due to your partnership with her? For whatever reason, this one is not voiced. I cannot deny the possibility that Lady Theodora may have lamented losing some of the freedom she enjoyed prior to my arrival in the Expanse. Nor will I deny that our partnership began with me exerting a certain amount of influence. However, you are not Lady Theodora. Let us put the difficulties that encumbered our relationship to rest alongside with her. I do not recommend troubling yourself with affairs of the past, for they have no bearing on your present position. Theodora chose to forget about this particular matter. Follow her example, and your fate will be better for it. Yeah, it seems like is the Inquisition controlled somehow? Because in the end they seem like they can just use their power and influence quite freely. I mean, look at him. So, why such an interest in my person?
You haven't been in a position of power for long, and so one can forgive you for not noticing the troubling changes. The cult of the Final Dawn is spreading in the Koronus Expanse. Not the first or the last heresy that has afflicted this sector, but one that is surprisingly resilient. Mysterious convoys are sliding by, bound for systems in the heathen stars. Just your humdrum pirate trade, wouldn't you say? Then why are the pirates themselves clueless?
I don't know.
The Xenos, who have caused trouble in the sector before, have expanded their activities in the last few decades, and there is a logic and method to their previously chaotic raids. Even 2 packs of space wolves, blessed space marines summoned in my name did not cool their interest in the Expanse.
Interesting. We have Space Wolves around.
A mighty explorator fleet, which has studied the Expanse for hundreds of years, has suddenly stopped responding to communication and sunk into a dispute over a tech heresy that was considered dead a couple of centuries ago. House Chorda has clamped down on insurgents, yet its acts of brutality breed troublemakers just as quickly as they're executed, and this bloody carousel has consumed the attention of the esteemed incendiar. Korligos Winterscale has abruptly lost all interest in his domain, and his only apparent concern now is hunting even more dangerous xenobeasts.
I mean, true, after meeting both of them. Then again, I mean, you could force them. Why me?
And the third and final rogue trader has unexpectedly perished, stabbed in the back by her own master of whispers. The Expanse is swiftly losing its protectors right when communication with the Imperium is being disrupted by the raging warp. Basically, all the Expanse has left is me and you, if you follow my instructions.
So, is Heinrix staying in my retinue, or are you taking him back again?
Which would you prefer? And you, Heinrix, do you wish to continue working at the Honorable Rogue Trader's side?
Heinrix? Was he always called that? Am I pronouncing it wrong with Heinrix? Well, I guess Heinrix is more German, but I mean, it is so close to a German name that I would say it's probably Heinrix, not Heinrix. Huh.
I will comply with any order, Lord Inquisitor. If you command me to remain in the company of the scion of the von Valancius dynasty, I won't be distressed.
Wow. I want Heinrix to continue to accompany me.
Then Master Van Kellogg's will remain in place. It puts me at ease to know that there is someone to watch over you.
Balthazar's last remark sounds ambiguous. I thought your way was correct, that's how I say it. We just stick to Heinrix. I don't know if it was mentioned earlier in the game. We just stick to that.
I consider it an honor to accompany you.
Heinrix offers you an official bow. Aww. So, what kind of deal are we talking about?
I make no deals, and Emperor forbid that I give
Kinda
you
do.
orders. That would mean infringing on your privileges. I'm merely offering well-meaning recommendations and expecting that when the Expanse finds itself in danger, you will break away from your own affairs to heed them.
That's a deal, my dear friend.
I seem to remember that your exalted aristocrats presented you with many gifts. It would be rude of me not to follow suit.
What are you gifting me?
Please accept this gift as a sign of my favor. In an hour of need, give it to any faithful servant of the Emperor, and the Inquisition will come to your aid.
Balthazar removes the signet ring from his finger and hands it to you. You notice an intricate personal coat of arms on it. I wonder when we can use it.
The color indicates how close the bearer is to the Lord Inquisitor. Scarlet means that you have shed your blood for the good of the Imperium, and therefore, you deserve to have his servants shed their blood for you.
And I mean, everything else is red, so not very surprising. Oh, if you're dogmatic, you get a black one. That's more powerful. What does the black one do? I guess that's the one locked here. And Edward smiles. I see no reason to refuse such a generous offer.
Then we have reached a consensus, and I am pleased to see it.
And can you use this ring often or just once? Is it like story locked?
Here is where we part. My shuttle is waiting. It is time for me to return to my watch, for you to sleep, and for your servant to wake up. Until next we meet.
He glances at the Master of Ceremonies, who's beginning to stir. Edward, Heinrix looked at you in dismay. I assume you now understand what I was warning you about. I pray to the throne that you also understand, but I wasn't able to tell you everything. That seems very unwise to talk about with the Inquisitor still there. But well, I guess we are quiet. Black Signet of the Inquisition. The war gains plus 40 persuasion and the Inquisitor's talent ability that can be used once per combat. Inquisitor tenets grant plus 50 momentum. Ooh. All common negative effects are removed from all allies. All allies gain near temporary wounds, armor, deflection, stuff. That's a quite nice ring. The black ring. I wonder what the red ring can do. I mean, Heinrix, it's not great. I would understand that you have to do that. Although, again, I do wonder how this romance is going to progress, because I think at some point it will be either duty or love. There's also a white one he gives you if he hates you. You did everything within your power to look out for me. That is what matters. Heinrix lets out a breath and nods, the rumor of a smile plays at the corner of his mouth. And then, Kagazar answers, "You have had a difficult day today, Edward. I will leave you to sleep. Your protectorate and your vessels will be waiting for you tomorrow. Good night, Edward." You know, you do not have to leave, Heinrix. Stay. Heinrix, but the portrait doesn't change. Heinrix gives the smallest shake of his head. Good night, Edward. He says, emphasizing every word, before inclining his head and moving toward the door. Sad. Worth a try. Whew, what a tense meeting.